I have with me here Mr. Gideon Breo, who is the co-founder of HapaSpace and mainly the organizer of the Ghana Digital and Innovation Week in Kumasi, Ashanti region. We are talking about how innovation and the current trend in technology is building the African ecosystem in terms of business. So, Mr. Gideon Breo, you are welcome to DTC Official Gh. We want to find out. It is said that Africa is a young continent brimming with potential. And so I want to ask, if you look at the potential of Africa currently and the trend at which innovation is running at a speed, at a very tough speed, do you think Africa can catch up? And what do we need to make sure that our businesses thrive in this speed race of innovation and technology?
Right. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to your audience. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whatever time you are watching this. Yes, it's true. Africa really has a younger generation per the census. It has a lot of youth. In terms of innovation, they say that wherever there are many problems, there are opportunities, right? And room for innovation. And since the African continent is saddled with a lot of difficulties and problems, there are a host of opportunities that this youth can take advantage of. Also, coupled with the fact that we don't have enough job opportunities for the whooping numbers of graduates that are coming out from our higher institutions, and therefore it's an opportunity for these ones who do not have any position in the corporate world or have been absorbed by the government institutions to also find ways of creating their own jobs and even creating employment for their fellows. And so, for instance, just during the COVID and even post the pandemic, we've seen a number of businesses springing up, intermediaries that are taking advantage of digital tools like social media. So now we have a number of young ones, both women and men, who do not have, say, grocery shops or even fashion shops, and yet they have online shops that are selling for those who are manufacturing these products. That is an opportunity. Look at the number of delivery services that have sprung up during the COVID and post COVID. That's an amazing thing, an opportunity for such innovation and growth economically for the country as a whole, and then also for the individuals who, prior to that, were probably sitting at home claiming that they don't have jobs. But that's not the end. There are many opportunities that people can take advantage of. If you take a look at the health sector, right, there are a number of challenges that people have because there are places where there are no hospitals, or even if there are hospitals, it's very small. And so we see huge queues for people to just go and speak to the doctor that I'm having some headaches and feeling feverish, and what might it be, and probably get a prescription. But there's that opportunity for people to create apps that can help for people to just sit at home, enter the symptoms that they are facing, and then get some suggestions as to what they could do, or even connect with some doctors and then get prescriptions, right? That's a huge opportunity.
All right, that's a huge opportunity because we are living in a continent where problems are endless. And so if you're able to think innovatively, but let me shift the conversation a bit to business because he's a busy man, and after today I'm not going to get him again. I want to know, I've been thinking about our current business sector in the country of Ghana. You check the background of all these existing big companies and you realize that somehow they have their backgrounds coming from a foreign land, foreign owned businesses, and all these multinational businesses that are owned by foreigners. It's gets me to the question, what are we doing wrong that we as Africans or Ghanaians are not able to build businesses that transcend beyond our continent, that transcend globally? What is wrong with us? Somehow I believe that we are in a continent where everybody wants to be known for what they are doing. The sense of entitlement, the CEO-ship that people live in. What do you think is the future? What can we do to make sure that we are setting our business system for a future that will not be about a CEO starting his own business, but it will be about a business hiring a CEO to make sure that the future of the business is really secured to build global brands?
Right. First of all, I think one of the major challenges we have had in the innovation space is not because our people are not innovative or probably do not know what to do. There are a number of products in the system that anytime you discover it, you go like, "Wow, why have I not heard about this?" Okay. So one, I see that they don't know how to build a proper business model around their innovation, right? And so they are unable to scale. They continue to remain where they are. The other thing is that most people have not learned the branding culture. Okay, so if you want to scale out of your community, where it become a national product, a Pan-African product, and even a global product, then it needs to meet certain standards in terms of branding, right? So, but mostly these people are innovators, right? Probably the person is an engineer, the person is a computer programmer, has developed an app, but he's not a marketing and sales person. So the branding is lacking. Okay, and so that's why people come out with something very innovative, but they stay within a very close group or just one community, and it's not able to grow beyond that. The other thing that you spoke about is about people learning to work as a team rather than somebody working as a CEO who is the only face of everything, and without him, everything comes simply to a halt. Okay, so that is why now I'm happy about the number of innovation hubs and other ecosystem support organizations springing up all across the country here in Ghana. The mandate of these ones will be to support these ones to learn how to also build stronger systems within the organization so that the organization does not hang on the shoulders of just one person, such that if the person is not around, then there is no business. Because I remember walking into the fashion shop of a cousin, and I asked them that where is their madam. I said madam is not around. But why are you not working? I said madam has not come yet. So madam needs to be in and give instructions, and people just so they are only working there as robots. There are two things. Sometimes the workers are not given any room to innovate and to operate on their own. So it's like the owner or the CEO always have to give instructions, and people just follow and work. And so that needs to change. And I think that the innovation spaces and then the ecosystem support organizations will be the ones to help these ones so that they can build proper systems within the organizations so that the businesses will transcend beyond generations and people can easily follow through, because we see quite a number of very good businesses in Ghana and then they crash just after the demise of the one that started it. But then in that case, what are we doing? It's not progressive. It doesn't help the nation to build a very strong entrepreneurial ecosystem as we want it to be. So that's something that we seriously need to work on. And I think that the ecosystem support organizations or innovation hubs themselves will also need such capacity building so that when they have the capacity, it can be easy for them to cascade that to the entrepreneurs or startups, MSMEs that they work with.
All right, thank you very much. This has been a very insightful discussion with Mr. Gideon Brefo. But before I leave him to go, just one thing. Somebody argued that we must be able to train or nurture our startups and businesses to get to a certain level and then bring in a culture of allowing them to go public. And then when it goes public, it becomes a public property. Therefore, it will be manufactured, it will be nurtured in a way that it will have the potential for future generations and other things to come. Do you agree with this? And at what stage do you think a company should be willing to go public? This is the last question, and then we sign off.
Okay, right. I need to ask you a question to answer your question.
Okay.
Like, when you say go public, is it becoming publicly owned by government, or you mean that the person should not hastily get into the market before getting the business model right?
All right, so I mean going public in the sense that allowing people to buy shares, invest in it, buy shares,
Okay.
and
Getting on the
operate
stock
it
market.
on the stock market, and operate it not as a personal business, but operate it as a business that will have to deal with people's money. In that case, it brings some caution and some credibility.
Right. That has to do with investments and then getting other people involved in the business. The truth is that um, the culture where people kind of protected their businesses or their ideas as though they are babies and they should be the only ones to caress and cuddle it, is gone, right? We are in the collaborative era where you bring in other people that have skills, knowledge, networks that you do not have to help scale your business faster. But if your question was about investment, that is the area where innovators want to tread cautiously, because sometimes, and it even happened today, somebody was asking for $100,000, and then one of the officials asked the person, what are you going to use the money to do? And then now the person started scratching her hair. You understand? So sometimes um, we crave for money when we don't even have use for it, and that's why you realize that people get funding, and the next thing is that they buy a plot of land or they buy a car and so forth, and it doesn't go into the business. So um, get get funding when you need it, right? And that is what the hubs are supposed to do: help the businesses to become investor ready before they go in for funding. And of course, if even you want somebody to invest into the business, whether it's going to be an equity or debt investment, whatever it is, discuss that with professionals, whether from the hub or other ecosystem support agencies that can help you know which kind of investment portfolio is good for your business, because not every investment portfolio will be good for any business. So for instance, somebody is starting a business that is now it's just an MVP they have, and then you go to the bank and say you are fortunate. They gloss over a number of things and give you the fund, and you are supposed to pay an interest of about 25% or so. So, like, you're going to work for this bank forever. You understand? And so you need to be ready for the particular investment that you are going in for. And I think if we do things that way, then it will be easier for us.
Thank you so much. This has been a very insightful conversation with Mr. Gideon Brefo, CEO, co-founder of HapaSpace and HapaWeb Solutions. I'll leave their website and social media handles in the description below. Make sure you like this video, share your comments, and let us know what you think. And let me remind you, there is always more to read on our website at dtcofficialgh.com. We deal with only business and personal development articles and inspiration. Catch you same time in another episode. It's a wrap.